Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. Now, the video I'm going to do today is one I'm probably going to get a little flack for, because a lot of people are going to look at this from one angle or perspective and say, that's the video where the Yankee Marshal was fat shaming the gun community. That fat bastard was fat shaming everybody else. Well, that's not what I'm actually doing. I'm not actually setting out to fat shame anybody here. But a topic came up in our live chat the other night, is actually the podcast with Never Enough Ammo and Gun Websites. And I'm not sure how we got upon it, but it was places where the gun community kind of falls down when it comes to educating and serving the people that make up the community. And physical health was one of the things we came up with where people really don't put enough attention on it in the gun community. We see so many people talking about how you got to be able to do this with your gun, and you got to practice draws, and you got to do this, and you got to do that. But they're 350 pounds. We see so many people in the gun community that are like, I'm prepped and I'm ready for the zombie apocalypse. As long as there's no stairs, my rascal can't go upstairs. So as long as there's no stairs or curbs, I'll be fine. Well, that's not really a good thing to be. If you want to be prepared to survive, if you want to be strong, if you want to be ready, and I'm not talking just for apocalypse type things, just everyday occurrences. If you can't run a block, if you can't run, period, to get to cover in a bad situation, or you don't have the endurance to outlast another person or even fight with someone if you have to, if something happens, you're not armed, whatever, well, then how are you going to survive? We need to put a lot more emphasis on physical health in the gun community. We talk about mental health some now. We very seldom do anything about it, but we talk about it at least. But we so disregard physical health. I mean, I know this sounds funny coming from me. I ain't the skinniest bitch on the playground. Let's just say that. I know I ain't no supermodel. As much as I want to do that, I can't. I'd pass out in like 2 minutes. I can't do that through a whole video. So I know I ain't skinny. I'm a little over 6 feet. Used to be 6'1" before I started shrinking. And I'm 210 pounds right now. I'm not as fat as I was. If you watch my old videos, you'll saw I got up to over 270 pounds. And then I went, I got to do something about this. It was right after I got the kids, etc. I just gained a lot of weight, eating, taking kids to Dairy Queen, all this stuff. So I was like, well, how can I be prepared for the future to take care of my kids, take care of my family, etc., if I'm just a big fat bastard who's probably going to pass out if I ever have to try to run 50 feet? So I got down to like 195, and since then I've stayed between 195, 210, 215. Kind of go back and forth a little bit, depending on what time of the year it is. But I've never gotten anywhere near the 220 mark again, much less 270. And it's because I decided if I want to be prepared to take care of my family, I got to be able to physically take care of them more than just pulling a trigger. Because there's a lot of things that can happen that aren't going to justify pulling the trigger, but I'm going to have a little bit of fitness. And I'm not the most fit person in the world. I'm in my 50s, but I still every day, well, at least 5 days a week, do 2 to 4 miles on the treadmill just to keep it to where I'm still working. All the parts are still going. I took training in Krav Maga and other things, and I'm looking into starting yoga of all things now to try to be more flexible and stronger. Because that's one of the big things about being prepared. Especially people talking about, we're going to go war. I'm going to go, it's a civil war. And then, you know that if you put an extra 50-pound pack on their back, they'd fall over like a turtle and never be able to get up. In practice, they'd probably just keep rolling if you put a backpack on them and they were, if they happened to tumble when they were on a hill, you never know when they're going to stop and what they're going to damage on the way. So I've never understood these people that cry civil war. I mean, pay attention next time you're at one of these rallies and the people that are screaming, Boogaloo! And see if you think they've seen their penis in the last 10 years. I don't think most of them have. And it just seems to be very common in the gun community. If you look at groups like Antifa and all these left-wingers, they seem like those fuckers are doing cardio. Mainly because they're young, I think. But then you see like the Proud Boys show up, and I'm like, good God, it's a bunch of fat bastards. Put on, how about doing a little cardio instead of just spraying bear mace at people or whatever? How about sprint a little bit while we're doing it? Because these people need some exercise. And like I said, it came up during the live chat the other night that that's where the gun community falls down. We don't promote physical health enough when it comes to being prepared, being able to take care of ourselves, even being able to fight back against a tyrannical government. I mean, how much use are you going to be in the boogaloo if the first time you try to charge a Capitol building, you get wedged in the doorway and we have to call the paramedics to come with some butter and some pry bars to get you out? Plus, not only are you going to be stuck, you're going to keep everybody else in or out. We're not going to be able to make any progress. So we need to start stressing physical health. And it doesn't have to be weightlifting and all that stuff. I've never had a desire to be muscular. It's just never been something I've wanted to do. I always preferred to be leaner and have a strong core. My core's pretty strong now. I could take a cannonball probably now. But like I said, I can still run 2 to 4 miles. And I would hope most people out there my age could too. But so many people can't do anything. They can't do a sit-up. Oh my God, I saw a friend of mine the other day. He's 1 year younger than me and he can't do 2 sit-ups. Can't do a pull-up. I'm like, oh my God. I can still do a one-handed push-up. I'm 50-something years old. I can still do a one-handed push-up. In fact, I did 3 of them in a row on my live chat not too long ago. Just to show people I could do it. I could have done more. And I'm not bragging that I'm in such great physical health because I used to be in way better physical shape. And now I'm old and I'm slow and I got a little weight on me. And I'm okay with that. People making fun of me having a little weight on. People say, you can't fat shame. You got to be more woke than that. I'm like, well, if you can't shame people for being fat, what can you shame them for? That's like saying you can't whore shame. Well, sure you can. I mean, that person chose to shove those Twinkies and Ding Dongs down their throat. No one did it to them. No one did it to me. It was consensual. Well, I don't know if consensual is the right word there. That makes it sound like I'm talking about the whore shaming, not the fat shaming. I'm talking about the fat shaming. No one shoved the Twinkies and the Ding Dongs down my throat. I did that on my own. Well, not on my own. Let's go on a little bit here. What I was saying, if you're fat, own it. Do something about it. That's one of the calls I'd like to make to people out there. If you're going to be in the gun community and you're going to be an example to your kids, to everyone else, if you're going to be someone who is worried that we might have to actually fight back against a tyrannical government, be prepared. I mean, there's a reason why soldiers do PT and don't get to be 800 pounds or else they're out. It's because you got to be prepared. And we believe in being prepared so much. Be prepared. Now, I know there are people that have disabilities, illnesses, etc., that make it hard for them to move around. But even in those cases, you could eat less. And I know depression, etc., and all those things. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not shaming anybody. I'm just saying there's a need in the community to be better prepared physically. Being prepared just doesn't mean we got a bunch of ammo stocked, we got some rifles, we got food on the shelf. It means being able to utilize those things in the way we might need to utilize them. And if you can't get out of your recliner, probably doesn't do you any good stock all that stuff. So that was one of the things I thought the gun community really falls down on, is physical fitness. And I'm not asking everybody out there to go and become, steroid junkies, lifting weights and back knee and all that crap. Like some gun channels, I'm just asking you to move. Get out and walk. Walk a little. I think it would serve so many people in the gun community a lot. And I think we would all be a little less grumpy, too, if we got a little more exercise. There's some people that are a little grumpy. They'd probably be less so if they just got a little exercise. Maybe be a little more open-minded if they got a little more exercise. So I think that's one of the things that the gun community really hasn't stressed enough over the years when they talk about being prepared or when they talk about boogaloos or anything. It's you got to be physically capable. And if you're too old, that's one thing. But if you're my age and you're not physically capable, that's really on you, on me, on whoever it is. So let's be a little more conscious of it. Just like with mental health, how I think we need to be way more conscious of our mental health. We need to be a little more conscious of our physical health, especially in the gun community, because if you think that you might someday be called upon to defend your family, your neighbors, or even defend against a tyrannical government, it really helps if you can get off the couch to do it. All right, everybody, I want to move on now to my favorite part of the show, and that is gun talk. And today I want to talk about another reason why I think I would never buy a Turkish-made gun. And the example I want to use today came to me in an email from BH Spring Solutions. Because if a lot of you know, there's a company out there called Tissos, or however you pronounce it, I call it Tit Sauce. They make Browning high power clones along with some other guns. And they make a stainless Browning high power clone. I bought one used because I won't buy new guns from Turkey. But I did buy one on the used market because I figure that money's not going to them. But apparently they're putting out a new model and they're stealing some parts from BH Spring Solutions. If you look at the pictures here, the new gun has got the BH Spring Solution extended slide stop, and it's got their safety design. And they didn't consult a BH Spring Solutions about this at all. Didn't get their permission. They just basically ripped them off, black market. You know, like I said, it's basically a fucking mafia state. They don't care about the laws. They don't care about copyrights. They don't care about just basic intellectual property or decency. They're just a rip-off market. It's like the Asian Chinese people that come over and take pictures of all the guns so they can reproduce the airsofts and stuff from SHOT Show, and then don't pay the people who designed the gun anything for it. I just wanted to make people aware, Tissos or whatever they're called, is doing that now with BH Spring Solutions. And they also, when you look at this gun, you can see, as BH Spring Solutions pointed out, they also are obviously fond of the stuff that Nighthawk does with the Browning high powers. And also, I don't know if those are actual cool hand grips, or if they just copied those too, or did they just buy a pair and stick on there and call it their design. But like I said, one more reason I won't buy from Turkey: they are a bunch of fucking criminals who will steal designs from companies, not give them any credit, not give them any say in it, just take it. Like I said, it's just like those Chinese people that come over and take all the pictures and make the airsoft guns and don't pay the manufacturers. And I think when someone designs something, they put their time, their hard-earned time and money into it, they deserve to have ownership rights of that, especially when they have ownership rights of it legally. So countries that don't honor that, like Turkey, I don't want to buy anything from them. Not that I wanted to buy anything from them before, but this is just a perfect example of why I won't. All right, everybody, I want to move on here and end the show tonight with our viewer EDC of the day. And today we have Russ B. And as you can see here, Russ B is carrying a Taurus Raging Hunter in 357 Magnum. Now, first I thought this was the 44 Magnum gun. And I was like, oh my God, a 44 Magnum gun, a big truck, and a flashy little sports car, his little Toyota 86 there. I was like, could his penis be any smaller? But then I saw that it was the 357 Magnum version, so I'm like, okay, he doesn't have a micro penis, it's just probably a small penis. But that's okay, it matches his lack of ass, so which is very common in people who watch my videos for some reason. I'm starting to think that somehow my videos make their ass disappear. Like, is there something I'm doing, like some frequency to my voice that dissolves ass muscle or something? I don't know what it is. But if you watch my channel regularly, every time we get done with a live chat or something, check your seat, see if it's moist. Because like I said, I think I might be dissolving ass tissue, liquefying it or something. But like I say here, he's carrying his 357 Magnum Taurus, I believe it's the Raging Hunter, and he's carrying it in a craft holster, nice outside waistband leather holster. That belt looks a little tight, though. It looks like he's being cut in half. But that's because he's got that old man syndrome I have, where all of our weight is in our upper body now. But looks like a nice little setup there. I even like his little sports car. I like how his little the little insert in the back of the rubber grip on the Taurus kind of matches his little Toyota 86 there. Although I kind of find it hard to believe he's squeezing in that little 86. Although I think they're more roomy than you think. But like I said, though, I wanted to show our viewer EDC of the day, who I'm saying right now probably does not have a micro penis, since that is not the 44 Magnum version. But I wanted to show Russ B here with his 357 Magnum Taurus revolver and his little sports car. All right, everybody, that's our show for today. But before we get out of here, I want to say it has come to my attention, since I wore this shirt in another video, that some people don't like this shirt. And I don't know what the hell you're talking about. This is an awesome freaking shirt. Look, it's got little Sasquatches all over it, or Bigfoot, which I do believe the plural of Bigfoot is just Bigfoot, isn't it? Wouldn't be big feet or big foots. Like if you see like, oh, that field has a Bigfoot in it, or you would say that field has 6 Bigfoot in it. It would still be Bigfoot, like moose, isn't it? Like it's 1 moose, 2 moose, 3 moose. I think it's kind of like that. Bigfoot is kind of like moose. But that aside, this is an awesome fucking shirt. I don't know how anyone couldn't like this. Plus, it's got a lot of color. It's got orange, my favorite color. I like color. So I don't know what y'all are talking about. This is an awesome shirt. I put this on today because I thought we were going somewhere fancy to eat. We was going to go to the Olive Garden, which is, highfalutin eating as far as I'm concerned. So I put on my fancy going to town shirt and my good jean shorts. But like I said, turns out some people don't like this shirt. I just don't know what you're talking about. This shirt is awesome. And if you don't recognize that, well, I think that the fault's on you, not me. Because this, like I said, awesome shirt. And with that being said, I want to sign off today, as usual, by saying, as far as the state of the world today is concerned, it is what it is. It could be a lot worse, trust me. But it could still be better. And if we as a community come together and start ignoring the fear mongers, the profiteers, the fake activists, the people who just want to manipulate you and make money off of you and continue the battle so that they can continue to make money off of it instead of actually serving the Second Amendment, if we ignore those people and fight smart and hard for our rights in this country and keep level heads about us, what things will be for people who value the Second Amendment and freedom in general in the very near future is better.